AM 970 WSTX.
Folks, you know, I do my community calendar in here and I talk about what's going on in the community. You know, the friendly stuff, the children involvement, stuff that the community needs to know about and get involved in. So don't be there saying, well, okay, I didn't hear about it. I would have want to go. No, 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 no. You know, it's so funny because there was this play that I'm going to be recognized in the newspaper. They're going to show my face and they're going to put one of them big badges on me. They're saying, yes, best announcer and best community show and all this other stuff. Yes, they're going to do it. You know why? Because Caribbean Community Theater gave this play and it was sold out. It had lines out there. You would think they were giving away free iPhones or something or whatever. And it made such a big traffic jam and everything else that, hey, they said his dog fault because he put it on the community calendar. Anyhow, so much for New Wives' Tales and short ones and everything else, right? Anyhow, so in the studio this morning, I've got some folks here from the Caribbean Community Theater, and it's really great to have them in here. Usually Doug is just here by himself running his mouth, but now I got some folks that I can tag team with here. All right, great. And yes, we got a play coming up starting on the 5th. You know how they do it? They have it Friday night, Saturday night, and usually I have a Sunday matinee at 4 for those people who don't want to drive too late. All right, but hey, and we having it for 2 weeks this time?
Yes.
Yeah, two weekends. So we're going to have it 2 weekends, all right?
And usually we will have one matinee, this time two matinees.
Two matinees, all right. Well, with no further ado, you're hearing that voice in here, so I want my guests to go ahead and introduce themselves.
All right, my name is Christina Gasperi, and I am an actor in the upcoming show, The Sweetest Swing in Baseball, and I also was in Sister Act, so I'm hooked on Caribbean Community Theater, and really happy to be here this morning and talk about the show.
All right, fantastic, and we got someone on the line.
I'm Megan Grant. I'm also in The Sweetest Swing in Baseball, and I was also in Sister Act, so this is fun to be doing it with Christina again, as well as Denise, who was also in Sister Act and is directing the show. But in the show, I play Dana.
All right, fantastic. And folks, I'm going to give you the disclaimer up front. You know, first of all, I'm going to talk so good about what goes on at this place. You're going to think I'm looking for a job, but I ain't looking none, okay? I'm telling you up front. It's just great family entertainment when the plays are family-oriented, and adult entertainment when they have that disclaimer saying, hey, nobody under these age, all this other good stuff. But I'm going to tell you, you're going to laugh. Some of them macho guys, I'm going to tell you now, you make sure you're there in a dark corner or something because you will cry sometimes, okay? It'll be so touching, all right? So, the Sweetest Swing in Baseball. Tell us about it. Tell us what to look forward to. All right.
Well, this is what we might call a dark comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say there are maybe a few tears or just moments where you might feel a little touched in your spirit, in your heart. But a lot of it is really funny. And some of it is that kind of funny where you sort of think about it for a minute and then you realize. So it's got a lot of thought and a lot of heart to the story. It's a story about artists and success and what that means to us as human beings. But I will tell you, one of the reasons that I joined the production, I was in Sister Act with the amazing Denise Blanchette, who played Mother Superior in the show.
My
I was a nameless nun along with Megan, but we had so much fun. And Denise was just such an incredible performer, actress, singer. And I realized how much I enjoyed her laugh because of course Sister Act was a comedy. It was our big musical this year, and I loved hearing Denise laugh. And then she said, "Oh, I'm going to be directing this comedy," and I was like, "Oh, I'll just go to the tryout, but I'm definitely not going to be in it." And I just, you know, when you go to the carnival and there's you have the sledgehammer and you hit the scale to make the bell go up and ring. And that's been my motivation in the show, is just during rehearsals trying to make Denise laugh. And it's been so much fun. And we've all been laughing. It's a cast of 5 really talented people, and we are just laughing our socks off. I hope the show will be as fun for the audience as the rehearsals have been for the cast.
Well, listening to you guys.
And that is a tall bar. That is a tall bar.
Yeah, we've really been enjoying it. The script is by a woman named Rebecca Gilman, and she's very smart and just wickedly funny. And I think we're in such a community in St. Croix of artists and creative people, so I think a lot of people can connect to it, even if they're creative through a different business, not just painting, but also in any form of creativity that people have. So.
Okay. You were saying something there?
The thing that I really love about the show is that it ties together, two things that you wouldn't necessarily associate, art and sports, and how there's this common thread of when you love doing something as a kid, how making it your profession can sort of corrupt it and sort of twist it. It's about finding that joy again.
All right. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you from my experience, okay? You guys do a bang-up job, okay? You take serious subjects, you take funny subjects, and you take the funny ones and make them serious, and the serious ones and make them funny. And I can say that I haven't walked out of a play in there saying, well, wow, that was interesting, in that context. So I highly recommend folks that, you treat yourself every now and then. If you're not a regular, treat yourself every now and then. Caribbean Community Theater, hey, they won't charge you for the laughs. You get plenty of them.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
All right. You can you imagine how much money they'd be making if they could just somehow figure out a way to turn laughs into money.
I know. That would be a good thing. The actors would work even harder.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. First, ask you both this. How did you get involved in acting?
Sure. Megan, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. I just sort of been a performer my whole life. I think the first play that I did was when I was in middle school. I was asked to be the one of the children of the Von Trapps in The Sound of Music for a high school musical they were doing that year, and I was in sixth grade, and I had one line. I'll get him. And I was so proud of that one line. And so I've been doing plays, musicals. I've been dancing, and doing sort of that sort of thing for forever. So I went to college in the States, worked for a bit, and then I came home. And the first thing I did was go to CCT and was like, so are there any shows coming up? Can I try out for anything? Can I do anything? Because I just love it so much.
All right.
Yeah, I will say for me that probably the number one reason I got into theater was because I was lousy at sports. I could not coordinate to kick a ball in a world of soccer players. So this was something that I could do in a team environment with other people. In a sense, I think there's some similarities there to team sports. That you have your individual performance, but it's nothing without the rest of your group. And that's one thing that's kind of fun about this show is that even though we are only 5 actors, we are playing 9 characters. So almost everyone in the show, with the exception of Megan playing Dana, who is the lead, the kind of core character that the story follows, the rest of us are alternating between costumes, accents, body language, and wigs, whatever else we need to create 2 separate characters that come on and off throughout the show, which is really a pretty great challenge. And it's confusing sometimes. You're trying to read your lines and you're like, wait, which room am I in? Which scene am I in? Which act are we in? And which character am I supposed to be playing right now? So it's a really great mental workout.
But they're all doing such a great job, that it's amazing, when I'm in the scene with them, I'm never confused who I'm talking to. I'm never like, oh, I'm supposed to be talking to, Dr. Gilbert right now, but I feel like I'm talking to Rhonda, who are Christina's two characters. That never happens because, she and all the other actors are so good at making sure, at distinguishing both of those characters while at the same time finding the commonality between the two.
Well,
It's something to see, definitely.
okay. Well, you mentioned something there, Megan, that about middle school, and I just want to throw in. I want to get up on my soapbox, and I'm saying that look, folks, we need to support as much as possible the arts in our schools, especially where they could do plays, acting, and whatever. How else we gonna one of these days see somebody who went to school here going up there to get their Oscar?
Yes.
It starts somewhere.
You gotta get that.
Absolutely.
So in that sense, from the folks in education all the way up to the top of the administration, hey folks, whatever you can do to support the arts, we really appreciate it in that context, especially getting it into the schools, because folks, everything has been cutting back this to cutting back that, and soon they're going to be cutting back on how much air you can breathe. Please, folks, let's make our schools that place where the arts are that qualitative seasoning that impacts our children in so many ways. They may not choose the arts as their vocation, but in terms of building character, self-esteem, it's a fantastic vehicle.
It does. It creates so many skill sets. I mean, just even schedule management. Knowing when you need to be at rehearsals, at what point do you have to have certain amounts of the material prepared for rehearsals for your team. And the public speaking aspect, the experimentation with different characters, trying things on. I'm getting to try on two vocations that I've always been curious about. Why I play a psychotherapist in the show, and I also play a gallery owner, kind of a high-powered woman. So these are really fun things to play with in terms of identity. And so in theater, you can kind of try on anything. But I did start I believe I was in 4th grade when I was in my first show. By 6th grade, I think I played Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. The schools that I attended were in a suburb of New York City, and they had very strong arts programs. Now, my parents lived in fear that I would grow up to be an artist and starve to death. And I think that is a common fear for parents. They want their kids to do something more reasonable. But Megan and I both have day jobs, and most of the cast, we're all employed for the most part and successful as adults. But the arts really, how else do we connect to the spirit and the soul, and how do we tell these really beautiful layered stories, amongst ourselves, yes, but like to be able to communicate these beautiful ideas to the audiences that we are hoping will come next weekend and the following weekend. This is just an avenue for us to all communicate a commonality to each other. The arts are really important in the community.
Well, there are two things. There are two things that can make life so wonderful. One is a job that you love, and two is something that you love when you're not on the job. Okay, those two things. When you get those two things in sync, I mean, there are times when you're in transition. You might have that one you don't like, that job you don't like till you get to the one you want, or whatever the case may be. But those two things should always be our aspirations and something we need to push our children toward in the process, because they have to find their way as to what their job is going to be in life, or what their work is going to be in life, and they also need to have that other side after the job. What do I do with myself that I have fun and enjoy life? Yes. Now I'm on tell you now, confession time. One of the challenges that is to get people to understand and realize what they're missing. Because I talk about the Caribbean Community Theater. The reality is there are thousands of people here in St. Croix that have never been to the theater. And folks, whether it's a birthday, an anniversary, doing a random act of kindness type of treat, however gift a ticket to Caribbean Community Theaters to a friend. Someone who you just noticed don't go nowhere or whatever the case, and your dog was doing the same. Do something different, Tell them they don't have to sit on the couch all day and watch CNN. Yeah, you gotta to do it, because once you experience it, it's just like the other day. I can't call names so that they will forever remain innocent, and of course not in my life. But I dragged a friend of mine out to an arts event the other day, and afterwards it was like, oh man, this was great. I've seen so many people I haven't seen in a while, and this and that and that. But if you had seen the pulling teeth process to get them to come out.
Oh.
All right. But
well, and let me just say, I know that a lot of people do. There's many people on the island who choose not to drive after dark. We all have the issue with the oncoming headlights, and just our eyes get worse as we're older. So don't forget, we have 2 matinees. The matinees are on Sundays, the 7th of May and on the 14th of May, and those start at 4 o'clock. And if you do come to an evening show, those start at 8. There is an intermission, a nice long leisurely time. We have a bar, so you can have alcoholic or non-alcoholic drink, and also there is a pretty extensive snack bar. There's a caterer who comes and sets up. You can get like a little light dinner, so it is possible to kind of make an evening of a CCT show and not feel that you have to rush to dinner or rush in and out. You can come and enjoy the whole evening, have a little bite to eat, some healthy food, and a little imbibement if you like, and enjoy a show with us. So come on
and
out.
this show in particular, we're actually going to have a little art show
That's right.
at the end as well. At the end of the show, we're going to be having some of the art that was featured in the show on display in the back, and we're going to be doing a little bit of an auction as well. So definitely come by and make sure you stay after to see that.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna brag, because I know Megan won't, but Megan is playing a successful painter in the show, who is having kind of a mental health crisis. And so she kind of changes her style of painting, and the audience may not really see the paintings during the show. We talk about them a lot and leave it to the imagination of the audience to imagine her work. But there will be paintings on display, and Megan got into character and just started enjoying something that she maybe hadn't done for a while, but is extremely skilled at. She is an oil painter, and she has been painting. If you see the poster for the show, was an earlier one of the works that she's been developing of chickens.
I'm looking at it right now.
Who are playing baseball. So anyone in your life who is a baseball fan or who loves chickens, which is most of us in the Caribbean, because they're everywhere. And they are beautiful. They are a native bird in a sense. So she has been painting these incredible oil paintings, layered, beautiful work. She's like, every feather is painted. These are really incredible paintings to see, and it's just an outcropping of the creativity she's bringing to the show as this character. So I was blown away. She keeps bringing in new ones to rehearsal, and we are just laughing, crying, and loving all these works of art. So
I'm telling you, all these chickens are giving me a mental health crisis.
She's driving herself a little mad.
Well, let me tell you, right? Sometimes I do a lot of videography, and you do scripting, and you have to get people up in front of the green screen and say their lines and record them and stuff like that. And it never fails. When I'm getting ready to start, that's when the chickens start up. And I'm saying, like, they must know.
Yes!
They must know.
Like children and dogs.
Fortunately, the microphones are such that they don't pick it up.
What?
But,
wow.
To the human ear,
yes.
You're hearing it as, oh my goodness,
right.
The recording is messed up. But
yeah.
But they have a sense, some kind of a sense, because it seems that I just the other day I had somebody come in to do a voiceover, and the chickens start up, and it's, you must know.
Yeah.
But I'm looking here at the artwork, folks. If you're on Facebook, you just go and type in CCT or Caribbean Community Theater, and it'll pop right up. and you'll see an example of Megan's painting incorporated into the announcement for the play, Sweetest Swing in Baseball. All right.
Yeah.
We got a lot of sports fans out there, so I'm sure they're going to be intrigued as to what's it all about. So come on out, folks. They've got the weekend of the 5th, they've got 3 shows. Remember that. 8 o'clock on Friday and Thursday. Friday and Saturday. And 4 o'clock on Sunday. The thousands of times I've said that I don't know how Thursday got in there. Just that we're on a Thursday show. But anyhow.
Yeah.
And then the following
And
weekend.
there are a couple things there are a couple things we have to mention because we our managing director will kill us if we don't. This show, we talked a lot about inspiring the kids. Unfortunately, this isn't the show to inspire your young kids. The suggested age is 15 and older because we've got some
Choice
salty
words.
language in there.
Little sailor talk.
Some adult themes. Well, a lot of sailor talk.
Yeah.
And it's a cash. The tickets we accept cash only at the box office and at the bar and at the snack bar. So make sure you bring your dollar bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Doors open at 7:15 as well. So you can have you have lots of time to get to buy some raffle tickets, to get a drink before the show starts. Do all the things you need to do.
All right.
Get the best seat.
Yeah. Come and get a great seat. And also, I just wanted to give a shout out to the entire cast, which is small, so I'll just list it. So Denise Blanchette is our fearless leader and director. Megan Grant, who's here on the phone. Denise's husband, Tom Guthrie, well known for his triathlon efforts on the island and his bike mechanic skills, is in the show, and he was also had a little tiny part in Sister Act. He is hilarious. I want to just say, Tom Guthrie is really a great actor. I'm in it too. Christina Gasperi, Kelly Pugh, and Robert Reffell. So we have an awesome group of super talented folks. I hope you'll come out and see us. Bring friends and family, and you're really going to enjoy it.
All right, fantastic. All right, folks, there you have it on WSTX, like we regularly do it when we talk about what's going on in the community. Yeah.
Thank you,
It's
Doug.
gonna be great. It's my pleasure. I hope in the future that we will have more actors who, whether they need. Courage juice or not, to come in and talk. It's just a conversation, and we love sharing. The doors at WSTX remain open to get the word out about what's going on at CCT, and definitely whatever is going on with the children. Whenever they have the cat.
Calico
Cat
Cats Children's
Children
Program. Yes.
program. I always talk about that program and everything else. So anything we can do to promote it in that context. All right, fantastic. Thank you for coming in. It's been my pleasure.